Welcome back already. Here we are for part 2 of our bone bead. I am charging my phone, so I'm going to pull it out real quick. So sorry for that quick jolt right there. Alrighty, so this is going to be Southwestern colors, obviously, because these are my favorite colors to work with. So we're going to do two different things. I cut out a whole lot of clay. Don't know what I'm going to use yet, but these are all cut on the thickest setting, and I just made 2-inch squares. So I have some red, orange, and yellow. I know that wants to be in the middle. This I might wrap on the outside. I haven't figured that out yet. So we're going to do the main one first, and I'm using a burnt umber, and this is all Sculpey Primo. And since I'm making 3 colors, I like to do the teardrop because to me it's a lot easier than cutting out triangles or whatever you want to call them. Clean this board up. So our first video is up. So hopefully you'll see how this started. So watch the bone bead part 1 before you watch this one. Okay, and we're going to do the blue, and the blue is the turquoise blue, and this is cad yellow, orange, and a pomegranate red. I don't use cad red very much because I do not like red as a color, but I do like darker red, and I love like burgundy and stuff like that. I'm just not a red and green fan. So those are the colors you won't see me use that often. Okay, so we're going to squish these down so I can get them in my pasta machine. And one of you had a comment, you're new to clay and you don't know how to reduce. So I'm going to leave the camera rolling today as I reduce this so you can see how it's done. I'm going to try and comment on a few of my videos that I haven't commented on. I'm really sorry. I just go, and I never sit down and respond to everybody. But again, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If there's a question on there, I usually answer it. I'm just not real quick. So don't think I'm ignoring you. I am not. I'm just extremely ADD. So this one we're just going to do red, orange. We'll put yellow on the bottom. So I have an idea of what this is going to look like. It's going to look like an old cane that I've made, but I'm going to make this one funkier. Now, if it comes out tribal looking, I don't know, but that's always my goal. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with the putting it through the pasta machine, so let me do that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have everything reduced, and on the inside of the cane I want a red and orange strip. And I don't remember how I made my other one. I don't even know if I actually made it a Skinner blend or just put the colors together. But I need it really thin. So hopefully I'll remember how to do this. I don't think I'm going to need all of it. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to set that aside. I do want the blue in the middle. I got a big chunk right here that I can probably get rid of. And we're just going to add it right there. I'm not worried about the ends because no matter what, they always come off anyways. So if they're not quite even, that's okay. And I'm going to condense this. I thought the cane was going to be a little bigger, but it will be by the time I wrap it in a million different colors. So okay, so that's going to be our cane, and we're just going to cut this straight down. Hopefully you're not like me and you get it down the center, because I'm horrible at that. Okay, and this is going to go in between that. So I want to make this thin. But I also want to make it to where it's going to fit inside. So what I'm going to do is thin it out like this and then condense it back. This can probably be used for something else, so I'm going to put that aside since I don't need all of it. And I like this because it's got a little more yellow. So that's the side I'm going to work with. Okay, so I just need to thin it out a little more. Okay, I also want to wrap this in a very, very thin little piece of black, just to give it a little bit of a highlight. And I'm going to run my black at a number 6. I think 5 or 6 would be good. I just want a very faint line. Okay. So I need this right there. Okay, so there's my black. So now I got to think of what I want to be the pointy side. I'm going to do the yellow. So I'm just squishing one end smaller than the rest of it. Not by much. And I don't want it to go past the brown. But I want it past the white. Not quite even right there. Okay. So now it gets tricky. I don't know why that doesn't look like it's in the middle now. It looked straight when I did it, and it's too late now. So I'm going to take a little bit more of the bone white. I'm going to cut this at a number 1, or put it through the pasta machine at a number 1. And we're going to fold it and put it back through. Hopefully that'll make it all the way around. It doesn't, so I'm going to go to a 2. And that should make it. So I'm going to do a blue. Oh no. And I'm going to do a yellow, orange, and red. Gosh darn it. Clay is real sticky tonight. I don't know if I want to do that first or if I want to do that first. I'm going to do the blue first. And I'm going to run this at a 3. I might need a little more of this. I will. So I know I have turquoise here somewhere. It is really, really sticky clay tonight. As you can see, I'm not really worried about it because it is the ends, and the ends get all crummy anyways. I'm just really shocked at how sticky the clay is, that even my blade doesn't want to go through it. Okay, so we're going to do a red, orange, and yellow. Like I said, we were going to make this really, really colorful. So I put it through a number 1. Now I'm putting it in number 3. So it's going to end up being where, yeah, I still got the raggedy ends. I got to clean the pasta machine tonight, but it wasn't dirty the last time it did it, so I'm not really sure what the problem is. I'll have to take it apart and put it back together again. This could make a nice little lentil bead. That I'll save for something else. And I think I'm going to do black now again. So we're going to do a black at, we're going to do the same. We're going to do a number 3. This, I think, is Sculpey Souffle because it's all over my hands, and Primo doesn't really do that. Yeah, Souffle has a habit of just getting all over you. it gets in your nails, it gets all over the sides of your fingers. Okay. So let's see if I can get rid of some of this excess before I wrap it. Oh boy. Today should be Monday. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit to this. We got the colors in there, so I need a credit card or something to that effect, because we're going to push down on this. And I don't know what I did with my little credit card. I don't know if I want to use the back side of my blade. We'll see how thin that goes. That might actually work. So we're just going to make a bunch of lines, and they're not going to be even or anything. We're just kind of putting them in there, but I don't want to go farther than the white. I don't want it to go into that blue. And as you can see, I'm just pushing it here and there. There's no, I'm not measuring or anything like that. Okay, if you look on this side, I could go a little lower. And then I'm probably going to go find me a card out of my purse and do it one more time. So we're just going to roll it back out. Okay, and I'm going to hit pause while I go find a card, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I found a casino, my husband's casino card. I won't tell him if you don't. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and make sure that we're perfect on all sides. So I might have to do it. Oh well, I've already started. When you do this, you should do one side and then do the other side like that, and that way it'll keep it more in a circle. Because if you do what I did, as you can see, it just flattens the whole thing. And there goes my animals. And fire engines, hopefully they don't start howling. We have two fire stations. We have one like, I don't know, maybe 2 miles from us, and another one that's about 4 miles. One has a paramedic unit, the other one doesn't. So you get both of them all day long. Took 11 years, and the lab finally started to howl, which I think is really cute because she's got such a deep voice. But every time I try and see her sing, she stops as soon as she sees me. Okay, so we have our crazy cane. So we're going to leave it like that. Now, Susan Bailey really got me into wrapping my canes with gold. But as much as I like gold, I really like to use silver when I'm making anything with turquoise in it. I think silver goes so much better with it. So we're going to do silver instead of gold today. I just got to find the silver. Looks like I might have to order some soon. So when reducing a cane, I really think that the leaf that you put on it makes it so much easier, I think, to reduce it, because it keeps that stickiness off of you. Okay. And we're just going to add a little bit where there isn't. You might see a few more lampwork beads this week. I know I don't normally do that on this channel, but I'm kind of trying to do both. Plus, because none of us got to Vegas, or there is no in-person show this year. I don't know, still COVID. This is a different group. This is called the International Society of Glass Bead Makers, and I hate that name. I don't like society. I just think it sounds uppity, but who am I to judge, right? They have like a bead swap that we do in person all the time, and since we're not meeting in person, we are doing this all online. And so I need to make a lot of glass beads, at least 12 to 16, so that we can swap. So you'll see me on the torch a little bit more this week. Okay, so for that person that needed help with reducing, again, sorry where my camera is. I know it's a pain in the butt, but I don't have any other place to put it right now. So the way you reduce the cane, okay, is very slowly. And I don't usually start from the middle. I'll start a third of the way up. And I just use my index finger and thumb. Okay, and all you're going to do is just turn it. Okay, so basically, you're just trying to make it half of that size. Okay. So I just kind of play with it a little bit on one side, and then I'll come on the other side and do the same. Okay, and then when you start to reduce it a little and you've got a little bit more that you can put in your hand, then I start to pull. Okay, so you're going to want to pull it as you're reducing. You don't want to roll it, especially if you have a flower or something like that, just because of the fact that it'll distort your petals. So I just keep it in my hand, and I do roll it a little bit just to straighten it out, and then I'll come back in my hand and basically just squish. Now, if your cane is really soft, you can let it sit for about a half hour. I don't have the patience to do that, so I never do. You can throw the cane in the freezer for maybe 10-15 minutes, and that helps too. But if you look, by doing it this way and just going lightly, all of this stays on the end. So a lot of times when you reduce, especially if you roll, all this gets sucked right back in, so half of the cane is no good. So take your time when you do it. Okay, and I just, again, I just take it about a third in, and then I just start pulling, and then I come in on this side and do the same thing, you know, and then you can pull as you go. So let's go ahead and reduce that for you, and you'll see how easy that was. And I don't usually do the middle, that's why I roll it, and then I'll just roll the middle out and then stretch it. I don't even know what this is going to look like. I hope it's going to look okay. It's one thing with canes, you never know what it's going to turn out until you're done. So if I get excited and, oh, I love it, it's not because I'm bragging or that I think I'm really great. I'm just really surprised that it worked. So I don't call myself a professional cane maker or a clayer. I'm more of a glass worker, but I'll tell you, clay is a lot more fun. It's a lot more versatile. It's a lot cheaper. And if you mess up, you don't throw it away. You turn it into something else. And now with that blackout clay that came out from Kato, You don't need to buy black anymore. Just use all your scraps and turn it into black clay. See, so I don't really have a whole lot of, what do you call it, of waste. Just the ends. And the ends are always ugly anyways, so it's not like I would use them. So by doing this, it doesn't really bother me. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit smaller on this side, and then I'll go ahead and roll it. Now, I did make a mistake, and I'm sure a lot of you seasoned clayers have probably noticed what I did wrong. I did not put a registration mark on this. And what that does is I usually put a strip of color right here, which I could probably still do. And that way, when you cut into it, on both sides, you will know where the bottom is. So if you put like a strip of blue right here, as you're reducing, as long as that strip of blue is in a line all the way down, you know that your cane is aligned. And of course, I forgot to do that. So before you reduce this, before you add the silver to it, put a contrasting color in there so that you can see where your ends are. Okay, so basically that's all you do to reduce. And then when it gets long enough, you just pull it. And yes, you can roll it, but this is what will make your registration lines go wonky. So I don't recommend rolling it unless you have your lines. Because right now I have no idea where they are. So I'm going to cut this off right there. And yes, I don't look at any of my canes until I'm all done, because I don't want to know. Okay, so it's not really too much waste. This was really soft, so I probably got a little bit more waste than I wanted to, but I'll show you what to do with those. And that was a turtle soup bead idea of how to save those. Okay, so here we go. I'm not going to turn it into a leaf yet. I'm going to cut them all, and then I will go ahead and do that once I find where the ends are. Okay, so this is what we got. So it gives it a little bit nicer than your normal just throw it all together. So I kind of like that. I think the colors are going to work. So I'm going to put these aside now, and I'm going to go grab some alcohol, put it on my hand before I put it on those bone beads we made. So I'll be right back one more time. Okay, so we're back, and we have these two barrel beads. I'm going to make one extra one. I'm hoping I got enough clay now. I did figure out the problem. This is a lot more quieter, and it was just because there were ridges on it, so it made it extremely loud. Okay, so now I have 3, and they're all pretty much the same size. So, okay, let me show you really quick why you always want to put a registration mark. So this is horizontal, and if you turn it over to the other side, that's horizontal. See, this one is vertical. Turn it over. Oh, it's vertical. No, I know I had one that was bad. That one is vertical. That one's horizontal. Okay, so that's the problem, is it just switches it, and it just totally destroys it. So you got to make sure that you turn it back around. So we need to go half this size in order to get it to fit on the barrel, on the bone bead. So we're going to do that real quick. This is an easier way to do it. And you're only going to see one side anyway, so it doesn't really matter on some applications. But if you're going to make a leaf, it definitely matters. But since part of this is going to be sitting on the cane itself, I'm not worried about it. But I need to make this pointy on one end, and I'm going to do that on the yellow. So you got to make sure, obviously, that you're pinching the right spot all the way down. Okay. And I'm just going to cut off one end here. I want to make it a little sharper on the ends. So we're just going to pinch it a little more. So let's see if that's where we need it. So you could either put it like that or upside down. I'm going to go top to bottom here. Try and make them all the same size. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to do 2 on top or 4 on top. You can do either or. You can just leave it like that. I kind of like it with just the 2. We're going to do that again, but I'm going to try all 4. But come down a little lower. Let me make some better leaves here. 2. Probably would go a little bit more squared on the top. So you can do 2 on top like that. You can turn these 2 upside down and fit it inside. So you can kind of do whatever you want to do. I'm going to do a couple of them different. Let me see what would happen if I do that like that. I think these are, the beads a little too small to do all 4. But we're going to do all 4. I've got a lot of playing around to do, so. Okay, so this one, it's gotta be exact, so. And these are so thin that I really can't be doing this. And that's why I cut out an extra one. So my advice is to wait before you do this. Put your clay on a piece of paper and leach out some of the stuff in it, because it's just really soft. And it's just sticking to my hand, so this just means I'm going to have a lot of sanding to do, which I would like to avoid. So I will probably just make this one and then wait. Okay, I know it doesn't look like anything right now because it's just really soft. And you can see that piece of black right there. Okay, so if you want to hide that, you could take a strip of your leftover clay from that, and I'm going to roll it. Okay, I'm going to start with the red. Let me find that one spot right there. I want it a little thinner. Kind of like that. And I'm going to roll it up like this, just a little bit. Nope, don't like that either. I don't like the yellow or the orange. So we're going to start with this isn't set in concrete. This is just ideas. I don't know if I want that to connect or not. And I'm just looking for my little tool here. Oh, my desk is such a mess. I just want to hide that little piece right there. So you can even make it black. You don't even have to throw the rainbow color in. This is just for fun. This is a promo. Just to see what it does and if I like it. And I don't. I don't like the red at all. So we're going to peel that off. So we're just going to leave this alone. And we're going to let the rest of it kind of harden a little bit. Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of sanding if I decide to keep this one. But anyways, that was my idea. So it's just really too soft to play with. So I'm going to let that kind of leach a little bit. I'm going to put it on some paper. And then what I'll do is I'll just show you what I come up with at the beginning of this video or the next, depending on if I put this up tonight. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Alright guys, so we're back to finish up what we started. Cut a bunch of them out, but then I changed my mind and I wanted this a little taller. So let's see what happens by making them a little taller. So we're going to just put them about right there. Yeah, I probably should have moved these as I was pulling them. I don't know how high I want these to go. And I would probably suggest wearing gloves, and then they don't stick to your hands. So you can do this all kinds of ways. This is just one. Another cool way I will try on the other beads. Okay. So now you got just a base bead that you can use like that. Okay. You could also, if you wanted to, let's see. I'm just going to do a quick one. Make one really long. And I like to curve it. And you can take that from the top, curve it to the side like that. That might be a little too thick. Let's go a little thinner. Neighbors' dogs are barking, and so of course mine have to talk back. You can curve it like that. Okay, and you can just do like a little decoration there like that. And you can turn that backwards. I'm going to turn that in upside down and come like that. Okay, so you can do that as well. I like that actually. It's kind of different. And then if you don't like any of the little spots that are open, you could take like some turquoise. You could even take black. Let's see if I've got some black here. You can do a couple things actually. You could take a snake, you know, and just run it from one side, you know, and put something like that. Or you can just make little dots. Okay, well that's not turning it into a dot, that's more of a oval. It would be kind of like a lampwork bead, just putting some dots on there. Okay, so you can do something like that and then decorate it. I like that one better than this, I think. I think because I made these way too thick and it just sticks out too much. So let's put a couple more dots on this side. So we're going to make 1, 2, probably about the same amount. The trick is to get them off your fingers. But I do highly recommend using either finger cots or some gloves. It keeps your hands from sticking on it, for one. And for two, it'll keep fingerprints off. And we'll do this one. Okay, so now you got a little focal bead. Okay, you can stretch this to go higher if you want, lower. You don't have to do the whole amount. You know, and this one's different. You see how I did that? And I don't even want to pull it out, so I'm going to leave that alone. And there they go again. I'm going to do the same thing on this one, I think. But since this is more of a focal, I'm only going to do one side, I think. Makita. Makita. Shh. Hey. It's okay. It's okay. I know. I'm going to try and bend that a little bit. Okay, so you see how that's done? No, I think I'm going to keep going. So we're going to try and get 2 more pieces out of this. And we're going pretty thin. So I'm going to do 1 and 2 more. I might have to make a bigger, what is this one? This one's the barrel bead. I might have to make a bigger one. Because I kind of like this. So on this one, we're just going to spin it that way. Okay. Now I do have something, if I don't want to use the black, I do like the black, so I'm going to keep going with that. I do have some other beads that I could coordinate in this. But for now, I'm going to use this. All right. And I'm just kind of putting them wherever. I'm just going with the flow of the bead. Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of hard to keep these on. So you can get pretty creative with doing this. I'm sure a lot of you have ideas going through your head exactly what you can do. So that one's just got 3. And this one kind of fell down, I think. Okay. So this curve's a little really curvy, so I'm going to try and bring that down just a little bit. Okay, and then you just press down a little bit. I sand all my stuff, so I don't mind the fingerprints, although I really need to start using gloves or something, because if I can keep from sanding, then that would be fantastic. Yeah, I'm not even going to mess with that. But there you go. So these are just some of the designs you can do with them. So I'm going to redo this a little thinner. And then I was talking about scraps. So let's see what we can do with those scraps that we had yesterday before I let you go. So I'm not really good at Natasha beads, but I'm going to try. And I'm not going to cut these down really small, because then I end up getting really busy. So if this turns out, fantastic. If it doesn't, I will just turn it into a nice swirl bead. And that way you get some really nice coordinating beads to go with this as well. So we're just going to push that in. So it's usually 3rd time a charm, right? So let's see what happens. I don't really worry about pushing it into a square, just because once I push this in there, it turns it around anyways. Alright, so I didn't do it enough. I either do it too much and get lines, or I don't do it enough. But I kind of like that blue, because it gives it a little bit of contrast. It's not so busy. So I'll show you that once we sand it a little bit. Oh, I like this one. Well, son of a gun, I actually made a kaleidoscope bead. Don't know, I might have made it too small, because I have no idea what to do with them once they're here. I just wish I could get two the same design. I guess I could do that. That way you have one on both sides, but yeah, I never know what to do with these. Yeah, this one's really little, but oh well, it was fun making. So now you have 2 weird sides to that. Okay, so we'll throw that one in the oven. But for the rest of the stuff, I honestly just love making circles. And then I'm going to just put these leaves right across the center here. Even though I could probably use them on something else. I don't know what I would use them for. Okay, and I have those in the middle. So now I'm just going to the top of the bead. And I'm just going to swirl the beads around. And you can stop when you start seeing a shape, or you can keep going. Okay, here. I think that's the one I started with. Nope, I think it was this side. Oh, I hope I'm right, because if not, I'm going to go right backwards here. And I think I am. So actually it was that side. Okay. So you can use that for a couple coordinating beads to go with it. So make like one on each side. Obviously not that big. I would probably go smaller. Okay, and then we're going to redo this one, but I'll do this one off camera. And I'll probably make one more of these just as a set. So that's it. So I hope that gives you a little bit of inspiration of some of the things you can do. I am sure most of you will probably think of something better that I did not. So go make something. Enjoy the weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all of you moms. And we'll talk to you maybe Sunday. I don't know. My brother's coming down this weekend. My husband had to work, so he's not going to be home this entire weekend. And I don't know what my daughter's doing yet. So I may be here to make it. I may be out of town, or I may be just out of the house for a while. But anyways, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. We'll talk to you later. Bye.